Hey YouTube, Geminijets 2000 here, coming at you with a fictional airport update. This one, first off, as you can tell, it's not my normal kind of PDX layout. Don't worry, this is not permanent. This is just something I just kind of wanted to do. I like setting up airports with these blocks, just different designs, seeing what stuff looks like. And so yeah, I just decided to film my fictional update in this layout. So it's still the same airport, still the same airlines. Same location. If you don't know the location, is kind of like southeast Washington State, just a made-up city that could handle an airport this big. We're a hub for Delta, Alaska, and United upcoming hub. It's really gotten big lately. It's making it bigger. So yeah, I got two terminals, two pretty big terminals, and the runway. I'm leaving the runway open for flights. I didn't have room for a cargo area, so just got a few cargos taxiing. There's only like 2 hard stands. So the airport, the terminals take up pretty much my whole 5-foot by 8-foot board. But yeah, so it's just something kind of different. I have a few new models in this update. The Phoenix Eva Air 789, beautiful model. Alaska A321neo. I think that's it. Yeah, I think for a fictional, that's it. Yeah. I'll be getting some new models in I think a few weeks or something, actually a lot. So yeah, and I have all the airport requests from you guys, like Boston, San Francisco, got a whole bunch of them, I think like 15, so I'm going to start doing those real soon. Those will kind of be the same thing where I'll use these wood blocks to just replicate the terminals. But I'm waiting for some of them till I get some more new models, but I should be able to do some of the smaller ones that you guys asked about. So yeah, if you have not already commented on another video asking for an airport, you can comment on this one, and I'll add it to the list of airports to set up and film. So with that said, let's get into the update. Oh, and with that said, this is an 11 p.m. Time at the airport, so late at night. A few Asian internationals, well, actually most of the Asian internationals. Kind of the end of the push for Delta. Not too many Alaskas, a lot of Uniteds. So with that said, now we'll get into the update. First off here, just touched down on runway 10 left. This is a United 737-800 in a new livery, and he just arrived in from Orange County. He's 15 minutes early, and then he'll be heading out to Houston on a red-eye at midnight. And this is a non-COVID update, so this is just everything normal. So yeah. Taxiing to the runway with a DHL 757-200, which is going to be heading out to San Antonio, and he came in from Seattle, Tacoma. Right here is a Frontier A320neo, going to be heading out to Austin, Texas, and he arrived in from Denver earlier. And here is a UPS 767-300ER heading out to Louisville, and he arrived in from Ontario, California. Next in line here is a Delta Connection E170 taxiing out for Redmond, and he arrived in from Reno earlier. Right here is a Singapore A350 900 taxiing out for Singapore Changi. He is a 10:30 departure, so he's a little late, but I wanted to have this aircraft in the update. Right here is a Delta 767-300ER, which is heading out to Boston Logan, and he arrived in from Honolulu a couple hours ago. Right here is a Delta 757-300, and he's heading out on the red-eye to Detroit. And lined up and waiting is the Primera 737-800, which is heading out to Tampa, Florida, and he arrived in from San Diego, California. Now onto the terminals. There's no parking spots set up, so I actually use the accessories just to kind of outline each gate line. So basically in between is a gate, and then naturally the wide body gates are more. I still have a few accessories on some aircraft because I had enough to do all the gates and have some left over. Most of the gates have jetways except for the internationals at this terminal here. But yeah, Terminal 1 here is Delta. Delta's internationals, the Sky Teams, the No Alliance internationals, like Norwegian, Emirates, those ones, along with Southwest, Sun Country, and Hawaiian. So yeah, we'll just get into this terminal here. We have a Delta Airbus A319, and he is going to be heading out to Seattle, Tacoma in 30 minutes. A few empty Delta gates. And right here is a Delta 737-900ER, and he's heading out to Philadelphia. Departure time is in 5 minutes. Empty Delta gate. Delta 767-300ER will be heading out to Minneapolis at midnight, and he arrived in from JFK. Delta 757-200 will be heading out to New York JFK in 30 minutes, and he just arrived in from Kahului, Maui. Right here is a Delta 717. He's going to be heading out to PDX in 30 minutes, and he arrived in from Eugene, Oregon a little earlier. And right here is a WestJet 737. This is a MAX 8, saying it's just a regular 800, and he arrived in from Calgary and will be overnighting. A couple empty Delta gates. We have a Delta A320, which is going to be heading out to Red Eye to O'Hare in 10 minutes, and he arrived in from Salt Lake City. Another empty Delta gate, and these two Delta CRJs, one is CRJ 900, one is CRJ 700. They're just stopped there waiting for the Kiwanis to finish his push. CRJ 900 is pushing out for Helena, Montana, and he arrived in from Medford, Oregon. Right here is a CRJ 700, which is going to be heading out to Bellingham, and he arrived in from Vancouver, British Columbia. Then right here is a Delta A321, which is heading out to Atlanta in 20 minutes, and he arrived in from Atlanta an hour ago. On the other side here, we have some common use gates for Hawaiian Southwest Sun Country. Got a Hawaiian A321neo, which arrived in from Kailua Kona, and will be heading out to Honolulu in the morning. Southwest 737-700. Which is in from Oakland, will be overnighting, heading out to San Jose in the morning. Sun Country 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Dallas-Fort Worth on a red eye. He arrived in from Acapulco, Mexico 2 hours ago in one of the international gates and was just towed over to a domestic gate. Volaris A320 here at the international gate will be heading out to Guadalajara. He came in from Guadalajara. Empty international gate here, and right here is at Aeromexico 737-800, going to be heading out to Mexico City on a red eye. Here's the China Southern 777-300ER, it's going to be heading out to Guangzhou. Next to it is the China Airlines A350-900, going to be heading out to Taipei. On the other side here, we have a Norwegian 787-9, just getting ready to go out to London Gatwick, and he came in from Gatwick. Hawaiian A330-200 arrived in from Kahului, be heading out to Honolulu, heading to Honolulu late tomorrow morning at 10. Then right here is a Geminijets 787-9 in from Xiamen, China, and he's heading back there in a couple hours. Right here's the Southwest 737-700 in from Chicago Midway, heading out to Las Vegas in the morning. Southwest 737-800 in from Phoenix Sky Harbor, heading out to Dallas Love in the morning. Right here is two JetBlue A320s in the hard stands. This one came in from San Francisco around 6 p.m. and this one in from Fort Lauderdale at about 7 p.m. And that will be heading out to LAX around 8 tomorrow morning, and that one and this one to Las Vegas around 7 a.m. tomorrow. Next here is the China Eastern A330-200 heading out to Shanghai. He arrived in from Shanghai a few hours ago. Last but not least, for Terminal 1 here, the only Delta widebody at the gates here is the Delta A350, which is heading out on the overnight to Beijing. And that's a midnight departure. Now on to this terminal, which is United, Alaska American, JetBlue, and Spirit, and Frontier. JetBlue A321 here at the international gate arrived in from Boston and is heading back to Boston at midnight on red eye. Next year is United 787-8 Dreamliner heading out to Chengdu, China, and he arrived in from Sao Paulo about 5 hours ago. Next year, the new model, the EVA Air 787-9 Dreamliner heading out the inaugural service to Taipei. Here's another view, is getting cargo loaded. Beautiful model made by Phoenix. This United 777-200ER arrived in from Chicago O'Hare, and he'll be overnighting and heading out to Honolulu in the morning. Empty Star Alliance International gate here. The Air China A330 is getting towed over from a hard stand. He'll be heading out to Beijing at about 1 a.m. I'll do the Uniteds and Air Canadas next here. We have a United Express Embraer 175 heading out to Boise, and he arrived in from Portland, Oregon, just pushing back. Right here is another 737-800 for United in the new livery, and he is going to be heading out to Cleveland at 11:40, and he arrived in from Seattle. Right here is a United 737-900ER, and he arrived in from San Francisco and will be overnighting, heading out to Chicago O'Hare in the morning. I got a few regionals here. The United Express CRJ 550 is in from Sacramento, and he's overnighting. He'll be heading out to San Jose in the morning. Right here is the Air Canada Dash 8 Q400 in from Vancouver. He'll be heading back there in the morning. Air Canada CRJ 705 in from Calgary, and we'll be heading up to Edmonton in the morning. Right here is the United 767-400 400ER, and he arrived in from Newark an hour ago, and we'll be heading out to Guam in 45 minutes. And then right here is the Air Canada AE 321, and he arrived in from Toronto, and he'll be heading back there in the morning. And right here is the United Airbus A319, which is in from San Francisco. Later San Francisco just arrived, and he'll be heading out to in the morning back to San Francisco. Here's kind of just these end gates here, kind of like actual Denver. If you've seen the A concourse, the end ones, I think they're getting rid of those gates and extending it out longer, but it's kind of cool, just all the gates going out like that. Here's an empty gate for the United 737-800 over there on the runway. Right here is a United MAX 9. These aren't flying, but for the sake of the update, he's in from Kona and just getting ready to push for Fort Lauderdale. Right here is United 757-200. He is in from Boston Logan and will be heading out to Newark at midnight. And here's the United A320, which is in from A320. Oh yeah, and he arrived in from Denver a little over an hour ago, and he'll be heading out to Denver at about 8 a.m. in the morning. Here's another United 737-800, and he is in from Orlando an hour ago, and will be heading out to Baltimore in 20 minutes. Right here is a Frontier A319, A320, sorry about that. And he is heading out to, we'll say, Atlanta, and he arrived in from Las Vegas. We got a JetBlue A320 here, and he just arrived in from Long Beach and will be overnighting, heading back to Long Beach in the morning. Here's an American 737-800, and he arrived in from Chicago O'Hare at around 9:15 and is heading back to O'Hare on the red eye at 11:20. And here is an A321, which is going to be heading out to Philadelphia just a few moments here. It's a 10:55 departure, so it's running a little late. He arrived in from Charlotte 4 hours ago. Here's a 737-800 for American. He just arrived in from Phoenix. We'll be heading back there in the morning. And we got a 737-800 for American in from Dallas-Fort Worth a little while ago, an 8:30 arrival, and he's going to be heading back to Dallas-Fort Worth in the morning. And then just on the other side here, we have an American 757-200. These are all retired, sad, but he's heading out on his flight to Miami, just pushing back, and he arrived in from Washington National an hour ago. Then right here, relatively new model, the NG models, American 787-9, and he's heading out to Bangalore at 11. And he arrived in from LAX 2 hours ago. This is a route American will be starting up in real life out of Seattle because Alaska is joining One World. So I'm saying they're running it out of the fictional update here because I have the model and I want to use it. Right here, we got 2 planes here. I'm just going to finish the last American A321neo in from Dallas-Fort Worth, heading back to Dallas-Fort Worth on a red eye in 45 minutes. Right here's a Frontier A321 heading out to Philadelphia, and he arrived in from Los Angeles. And we have an Alaska A319, first of the Alaskas, and he's going to be heading out on a red eye to Chicago O'Hare at 12:30 a.m. and he arrived in from San Jose, California. Not many Alaskas here right now, just actually 4 main lines. There's a big Alaska push at from 9 to 10 and 10 to 10:30, so a bunch of Alaskas all just left. Looking at the schedule here, these 2 lines where all the flights are from 9 to 11. Then we just got the 1 SFO departure, then those 3 red eyes, so that's all that's left. Right here is the A321, which is heading on that San Francisco, the 11:10 departure out to San Francisco. Some empty gates. Right here is a 737-800, which is going to be heading out to Austin, Texas, and a 737-900ER, which is going to be heading out to Dallas-Fort Worth on the red eyes. He arrived in from Seattle, and he arrived in from Los Angeles, and he arrived in from New York JFK. And then more empty gates, some regional gates here. We have a Embraer 175 SkyWest, and he's going to be heading out to down to San Jose, California, just a couple minutes here. And a Dash 8 Q400, which is going to be heading out to, he's going to Vancouver, British Columbia. So yeah, not many Alaskas. Just a couple planes left to finish the update here. Cathay Pacific A350 1000, heading out to Hong Kong. Beautiful model made by JC Wings. Final model, another beautiful model, the Phoenix Qantas 787-9 Dreamliner. He's running a little late, scheduled 10:05 departure out to Sydney, Australia. He came in from Sydney around 5 p.m. But yeah, so he's running a little late, but they'll hopefully make it back up. But yeah, beautiful model, Qantas 787-9 to Sydney. So that's going to finish the update here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's something a little different. It's kind of new. Definitely not do this layout again. I'll change it up probably after this video. But yeah, stay tuned for some airports, the ones that were requested. If you want to see something, comment below. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Go follow me on Instagram at Geminijets_2000. And thank you for watching.